Philosophy of conscious creativity. What was the beginning of the creation of the science and philosophy of conscious creativity? I was born in a creative environment in the fourth generation, in a family of the greatest artists of the 20th century, and I saw the real side of the life of the creative intelligentsia from personal experience. In addition to this, I have the experience of living, working, and living in different countries and getting to know different cultural and social formations. I want to conduct all my further reasoning on behalf of the artist, without intermediaries and retelling through art critics, journalists and other controllers and leaders. My first teacher was my grandmother Tatiana Nilovna Yablonskaya, the greatest artist of the 20th century, who taught me the basics of understanding creativity. And later, there were many other teachers, in different directions, and all this research and study made it possible to see the full picture of creativity and creative activity. The beginning of my reflections was the need to reveal the obstacles and limitations that hinder the development of free creativity. In teaching, visual creativity, from the moment of beginning, to full mastery of the visual language, in a realistic manner. And it turned out that many obstacles, false directions and completely false information were introduced into the learning process. This prompted me to start shaking off the garbage, from a logical and harmonious system of studying and understanding the language of visual creativity. And since visual creativity is closely connected with our surrounding life, this research helps to understand and realize the rules of life on our Earth. At the moment, we have traffic rules in which each participant in the movement observes certain rules that help people move along public roads, while observing the rules common to all. The same thing exists in our real life, and there are rules, and they contribute to the development of our civilization. But today, as such, the rules of life on our Earth are not freely available. We now have only a judicial code of what cannot be done and what is punishable for what periods. There is some illogicality in this and it must be eliminated. Obstacles in learning are Trojan horses, viruses and false information. The main problem in studying any science lies in its division into many related subsciences, which are studied separately. The main problem in studying fine art is that one single science was once divided into many different separate and mutually repulsive subjects. Painting was separated from graphics, graphics was divided into many different directions, painting began to be canonized, subject to rules and limited in possibilities. This problem also exists in the study of other sciences, and is the main obstacle in learning and studying the general science of the universe. The next Trojan horse is artificially created competition and the most severe control, from all sorts of ministries and departments monitoring loyalty to the ruling elites, to journalists and art critics, curators, gallery owners, art dealers and all sorts of managers. Another virus is the constantly developing feeling of heightened self-esteem and pride in the creative environment, developing and welcoming madness. And these are only the main problems, and besides them there are many more, all sorts of different concepts, theories and opinions, rooted in public opinion as reliable. But in fact, all the greatest works of art were made in spite of all sorts of restrictions, theories and canons. I have been studying the technique and technology of painting for the last 50 years, and I managed to find this correct logical sequence, which makes it possible to embody and depict any thought, any event, any invented plot and materialize all this in a realistic manner of execution with paints on any surface. This technology gives a harmonious logical sequence of actions and knowledge, which provide an unlimited field of possibilities in a huge space for embodiment. This technology gives a conscious understanding of how, what, and in what sequence, you need to draw in order to visualize your idea. The technology is understandable, conscious and there is nothing complicated about it, and no matter what geniuses there are in the history of our culture, brilliant masterpieces, artists or works of art, all this can be understood, and everything can be learned. There are no secrets here. All of the above made me start thinking about common sense in a creative environment and the creation of accessible visualization technology.